Yes, people, welcome back to Lee Judges TV. Some familiar faces, some unfamiliar faces, and some last minute dropouts without mentioning any names, Toby and Matisse. But we are here and we're here to discuss the Carabao Cup. Unfortunately, Tobes has dropped out because his internet out of the country is dreadful, and Matisse has been hooked up by somebody called Sky Sports because there's a news breaking story, and unfortunately, he ain't going to be with us. Sky Sports, I just can't afford to pay what Sky Sports pay for Matisse, so he's got to go. But we are last minute signing. Fuad, how are you, sir? And thank you for coming on, bro.
No problem, man. Appreciate you having me on. I'm good. I'm good. Busy month ahead. I said to Spurs fans earlier this week, I was like, yo, this is going to be the most important month of our season. We got Chelsea, we're playing 3 times. FA Cup journey starts. And of course, the big North London derby squeeze in there somewhere as well. So, yeah, I mean, busy month. So, trying to get geared up for it.
Yeah, likewise, man. It's a very similar situation for us Arsenal fans. It's a huge month upcoming for us. Also, probably my most reliable guest ever over the last 2 years, Grizz. He's always here whenever I need him. Thank you for coming on, bro. How are you, man?
No problem, man, and it's always a pleasure as well. I mean, it's always a
Thank you,
pleasure.
man.
Not doing too bad. Could be better. It is what it is,
Yeah,
isn't it?
well, yeah, it is what it is indeed, man. Lee Judges, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm going to be the Chelsea fan as well as the Arsenal fan.
Just a Spurs hater.
Yeah, why not? Like, I mean, anybody but Spurs. There you go. Like,
Well, listen, I think we all know the club's pretty well inside out without Matisse from Chelsea. So it is a shame that he couldn't make it, but do you know what? There'll be another time. We're going to go into Chelsea Spurs first. Fred, I'm going to come to you. It's a strange old season for Spurs, isn't it? Because at the start of the season under Nuno, it looked like it was pretty rough, mate. If I'm honest with you, I remember speaking to Tobes and taking the mick out of him for going to get a chicken burger at 44 minutes and get himself an Uber because he'd had enough of the game at 3-0. But things have changed since Antonio Conte, man. I was really worried when he came in as an Arsenal fan. I love the guy. I think he's probably one of the best managers in the world. Fact, in my opinion, he's up there with Simeone, Klopp, and with Pep. So for me, I think you've got the world-class manager. I don't think you've got a world-class team. I think you've got a couple of world-class players potentially, but the rest of the team needs a lot of work. But in your opinion, mate, what's changed since he's come in? Because it seems to me that you're just winning ugly now, and you look a lot more well drilled, so to speak.
I think he's papered over the cracks essentially, and as you said there, he's one of the best managers in the world. But I think one of the key things about Antonio Conte is his man management ability and his motivational ability. Let's be honest, to get the best out of players who people might not think are the best or think are the greatest. But you look at Sanchez, you look at Dyer, Ben Davis in the left centre back role. Harry Winks has come into the team, dropped the man of the match performance against Liverpool. Dele Alli's come back into the fold. So Lucas Moura is now scoring more goals than I think he's matched his entire Spurs career before that. So it's crazy. But that's what Antonio Conte does. And he's brought an identity. Bringing the 3 at the back, I think it covers over with some of the centre-backs we've had issues for the best part of 2 years now. I think finding a regular pairing or reliable one rock that you can rely on. We hoped Romero could kind of be that, but he kind of got injured on international duty. So that was a big miss for us till February. So till then, he's just said, you know what, 3 at the back, Ben Davis left centre back. And he's essentially, that's the foundation we built on. We've used our wing backs, which previously I think we didn't have any creativity on our midfield. I think, as you said, some of the squad is lacking in quality, but then you've got some other bits with like Son and Kane where it's quality. But that midfield, it's struggled. And I think with the width now, with Emerson, Reguilon getting up and down, it's given us an extra layer. So an identity is what he's brought most importantly.
Yeah, 100%, man. Let's talk a little bit about this Carabao Cup and Tottenham season because I spoke to Graham last night, a friend of mine from same old Arsenal. We kind of both had the same agreement that I think Arsenal and Tottenham are probably looking to the neutral fans as more of the favourites to get to the final, just because it's more of a priority for Arsenal and Spurs to win this competition than it is for Chelsea and Liverpool. They've got their head sights on other trophies like European football, which is something that Arsenal and Tottenham no longer have this season. So how much of a priority would it be for you to win silverware this competition for Antonio Conte and your Spurs fans?
I mean, having been kicked out of the 3rd-tier European competition Conference League, I mean, it's our best chance of a trophy, let's be honest. And last season we got to the final and we kind of cut our nose to spite our face, if you like, by sacking Jose 6 days before that and then putting an inexperienced Ryan Mason in charge. I mean, now you've got an Antonio Conte who it's his first opportunity to kind of win silverware. And I'm hoping they can even use this January to kind of give him a booster. I remember when Jose came in, straight away we signed Lo Celso on a permanent and we gave him Bergwijn. And I remember debut game against United, was it, or City, scores the winner and he just gives that boost. And for me, I feel like Conte deserves that. Mid-season, he's shown under the 8 games so far in the Premier League is undefeated. Give him something to kickstart that. And I just think coming up against the Chelsea side now that are not in the greatest form, but have shown a bit of character in the last game, Lukaku coming back with a chip on his shoulder, will be interesting.
Yeah, massively. Lee, let's come to you. Antonio Conte, be honest, man. How worried are you that with him coming at Spurs now? And what have you seen in the last few weeks?
I haven't seen a real lot of difference apart from like they've been getting the results this time. Where I think like over the lot before Conte turned up, they were getting drawing those games. Now they're getting those little wins. You know what I mean? What I think they've done is they've made themselves harder to beat. You know, but I think they're a little bit like us before on our 10 sort of game run earlier on. You know, they're winning games. They're not winning them convincingly, but they're getting the job done. The thing with Spurs is, and any manager coming in, he's got 2 world-class players at the club, and they are world-class, and that is Harry Kane and Son. Up until Conte come in, only had 1 world-class player because Kane just wasn't playing. But I think he has got him playing now. Like I've seen a difference in Harry Kane over the last sort of 3 games or so. Certainly looks a little bit more dangerous, and I think that is down to the Conte effect because I'm not being horrible to Harry Kane or to Nuno. I just don't think he fancied him as a manager. I don't think he inspired him and everything like that. But Conte has. I think Conte has got Harry Kane's juices going a little bit like that. You know, this could be the man that could do things at Tottenham. I've got to say this. I don't know what he's done, Conte, but he's made Harry Winks into a player the last few games. I think like he's been like, you know, let's be honest, we've been mocked a little bit over the years, but I watched him in the couple of games that he's played. He's been bloody brilliant, like really. I won't say brilliant, but he's really improved. He's got the back 4 or back 3 now, or back 5, whatever you want to. He's got them playing. It's 3 central defenders. Dyer was in sort of living up to his name as in Dyer form, but he's all of a sudden picked up his performances, and you know, I think in the last few games also you've got to say Lloris has been really in top form as well. He's made some really top. So I can't remember West Ham in the cup. He made about 3 or 4 really good saves. West Ham, by the way, played really well that day. Probably were the better team, but Spurs dug in and got the result because they've got those players. Because they've got those couple of players that. Well, I think. Boy, you know, I can't remember his name. The one who scored, he was like sensational that time. Like so. Tottenham are a very good counter-attacking team, and they've been built on that. And Conte's probably renowned for that. You know what I mean? Being a counter-attack manager, so he's gone in there, tweaked it a little bit. And Spurs now are definitely getting the results now that you would expect them to get. Though they're beating teams that you'd expect them to beat. Where I felt that they were drawing a few of those games along the way now. So listen, they've got to be respected, and they've got to be watching the next few games. Be very interesting. You know, I'm panicking now with these games being called off that we're going to have Gabriel missing for that Tottenham game now. Like, you know what I mean? And so I'm a little bit worried about that. With our next 3 games going to be called off, I don't know what's going to happen with this League Cup now, how that's going to work out. And this could be an advantage to Spurs. Spurs, to be honest, when they got their COVID outbreak, lucky Spurs, but it's happened at the right time for them because now they've got all their players back when their games are coming thick and fast, where they got it at the beginning of the month when it wasn't such a bad thing. But now games are coming thick and fast where you can miss 2 or 3 games if you've got 7 days, you've got an outbreak of COVID, you're going to miss 3 games in 7 days, where Tottenham were only missing 1 or 2 going into those games. But now, you could be missing 3 games. So it'd be an interesting game, I think, tomorrow. I think home advantage, getting the draw at home first, can be an advantage, and it may not be. I think that, if Chelsea can get a couple of goal lead, which I think will be tough, then that makes it a little bit easier. But if Tottenham defend well and be as dangerous as they can be on the break and defend well, this could be all to play for in the second leg. So I think it's a hard one to call. I'm going to be really honest. I don't know how everybody else feels. I wouldn't want to put my mortgage on either way this game going. I think it's very, very even.
Yeah, likewise. Grizz, let's bring you in, man. Couple of things. First of all, where do you see this game going in terms of Tottenham and Chelsea? And second of all, have Tottenham got a chance of winning this trophy now that they've got Antonio Conte, do you think?
Absolutely. You said it in the opening statements that you made about Conte. He's top 3 coaches in world football. Fuad knows of what I think of Conte. We spoke about it because that is the biggest decision I think they've made since I can remember. I'm not going to lie. I can't remember a bigger call and a big decision they made. To do it so early in the season as well, after hiring, what was his name? Nuno, so early. Not many clubs have the balls, the guts, the foresight to do that. Well, foresight will come because it will be proven that it's good. But sort of, people just try to give the new manager they put in place time. But they knew once Conte was available, once the likes of Man United or PSG were lurking, they knew this was their chance to strike gold. And they've literally struck gold with Conte. They absolutely have. So what you want about Spurs' decision-making of the last 10 years, 15 years, however long, this is, in my opinion, the best decision they've ever made. And it turns them into serious competitors for things like the Cups. Because the league, of course, they're miles away. He won't turn them around in 2 seasons, in a season, or 3 seasons even. Do you know what I mean? It will take time, it will take progression. But for a League Cup, for a FA Cup, if they were still in Europe, this is the guy for them. And you can see the belief that he's put in the players. I'm not joking. I can't think of 2 of the worst centre-backs I've seen in the Premier League in Sanchez and Dyer. But they suddenly look like revitalised players. Yeah. Dyer spraying balls like Bobby Moore. He's looking like his chest is bigger. He looks taller. This is all Conte. This is not Dyer. He's still the same. This is Conte. Don't know how long it will last. Do you know what I mean? Spurs fans will think it will last longer and longer. And on the other side, you know what I mean? I don't know if I can swear in there, but F Chelsea, fuck Chelsea. But yeah, Chelsea have got a top manager as well. They've got a top manager, and he's I think again in terms of decision making, he's made the fucking biggest decision any coach can make probably this season in terms of dropping Lukaku for that game. I thought he showed balls. I thought he showed seniority. Who's the boss? Who's in charge? Again, I think it's a very, very evenly matched thing. I'd make Chelsea slight favourites because of the size of their squad, the sheer size of their squad. They'll be able to rotate a bit more than Spurs. And I think that probably makes them slight favourites. But the Conte effect is real.
Grizz, let me just stay with you quick, man, because you make a great point. I think in the last 10 years, we've seen player power. In the last 10 weeks, we've seen manager power. Not just Lukaku, we've seen Aubameyang with Arteta, with what he's done as well. Let me get your thoughts on that. First of all, what the hell was Lukaku thinking is my first question. And second of all, what do you make of Thomas Tuchel and Mikel Arteta's decisions to do what they've done? Do you see it as brave? Do you see it as foolish? Like, where do you stand on it, mate?
I think it's brave and I think it's correct. Both managers have come into... Okay, Arteta's been there a season or what, but Arteta took over... you know me and you chat loads about Arteta and Arsenal and whatever, but look, at the end of the day, I think if you've got a young coach that you want to build around, you've got to let him work his team, his ethics, his morals on the team, his discipline, and he's doing that. He's absolutely doing that. He's taken on your main star. He doesn't think he fits in with his ethos, or he hasn't, fit in with ethos. He hasn't been coming late to training or whatever the case. Maybe you guys will know more. But to us on the outside, it seems like he's not having a positive effect on the youngsters. Aubameyang's having a neck like, but coming up late for a North London derby is blasphemy. That you just don't do that as a club captain.
Yeah.
You're talking the biggest game of the season, every season since the formation of your clubs, and you're strolling up late, whatever. Nah, it's unheard of. And same with Tommy Tuchel, Tactical Tommy, as I call him. Say what you want about him, he's made a big call. Lukaku could have gone pear-shaped. That could have possibly cost him his job the way Roman works. If you drop your £100 million striker and get beat by Liverpool. And I said to Chelsea fans as well, your attack is far more fluid, mobile, athletic, pressing is there, everything's there, and their front three lads caused us hell of issues. And he's made a big call. He's let Lukaku know. Lukaku's come out today and made the usual, sorry, whatever. But I tweeted today, I said, Tommy Tuchel has dealt with this far better than a lot of Chelsea fans. Because a lot of Chelsea fans have made so much noise about Lukaku. How they're going to come back when he scores a hat-trick against Norwich or whatever. I'm waiting. My hands are waiting to type away at these people.
I love that, man. Before I come to Fuad on some team news and Tottenham's kind of team going into this game, Lee, I just want to touch quickly on from yourself about that, because for me, I think with what Thomas Tuchel's done, it's slightly different to what Mikel Arteta's done today. He's come out and apologised, and now he's back in the squad, Lukaku, and he looks to play for the remaining fixtures that are upcoming. With Aubameyang, he's completely out, and it looks like he could even be off this month. So it's slightly different in that way. Do you think if Aubameyang would have come out publicly and started to apologise, then he would have been back in the squad? Or do you think that these incidents are just too different and Aubameyang's done something a lot worse than what Lukaku's done?
No, I think it's totally different. One's in his prime. One's starting to be out of his prime. Listen, I think it's a good bit of managing by Tuchel, because I think, I'm going to say this now, I think Tottenham probably were slight favourites, but now I think it's edged back to Chelsea because of Lukaku. I think, he's going to be right up for it tomorrow. He's got a lot to prove. He's got a lot to do to win those fans back. Now, I don't care about what anybody says. Fans are fickle. Said it all along. Don't matter what team you support. If he bangs in a couple of goals or hat-trick tomorrow against Tottenham, all's forgiven. You know what I mean? And that's how it'll be. If he doesn't, it could go the other way. I don't think they're going to have as much in the bank, credit in the bank now for him if he don't start doing well. But I think that's a big call tomorrow. And I think really Tuchel's very, very clever on this. He needs every player he can at the minute with the games coming up. Chelsea, by the way, haven't got it easy this month neither. They're going to have a look at it. I know they've got an easier FA Cup draw. They may like to rest players there, but they can't afford to rest players against Tottenham, because Tottenham are not going to rest no one. Tottenham are going to go with their full strength tomorrow. Tottenham will rest players against Shrewsbury. Is it not Shrewsbury? They got Morecambe. Yeah. So you know what I mean. You might the Harry Kanes and all that. They won't be out there for that game. They look at these two games. It's a perfect little draw for Tottenham, getting someone like that where they can rest everyone on Saturday and really attack these two games in the cup. Chelsea, I think, will do it there, but Chelsea have got Tottenham again back later on in the league, and I think they've got Man City away also in January as well. So they've got some real tough games. So he needs everybody on side, and I think whether it's a thing where they'll address it again in the summer, I don't know. But at this moment in time, he needs him back on side. He's going to know he's going to get games and everything like that. And I think tomorrow, I expect Lukaku to play, and I expect him to be firing, if I'll be honest. But it'll be an interesting game tomorrow. I've got to say, I can't really call this one, because I think Tottenham on the counter attack are as dangerous as anybody with those two players. I'm just hoping that both get COVID before the Arsenal game, you know what I mean? So and are out, because I think that they make Tottenham a different side from an ordinary side to a different animal. I've got to say that when either one of them are in the side. And I'll tell you what, Song's probably more important than Harry Kane this season. If Song's not in the side, they lose that little bit of pace and direction in it all there, So I think that I can't call this game. I think you know, it'd be interesting to see how it is. And I'll tell you what, it will tell us a little bit. It'll tell us a little bit about Spurs because, you know, are they as good as what people are saying they are because of their results? Well, this would be a big test for them against Chelsea, like, you know, where, you know, you'd expect them to beat Watford. You'd expect them to, I don't expect them to beat Liverpool, but they had a good performance. Liverpool, by the way, Liverpool that day had players out and they was all over the shop. But they've got results that they've expected to. Now, away to Chelsea, different kettle of fish. We'll have to see how it goes. It'd be an interesting game. I've got to say that. You know, when I get looking about Arsenal, I'm glad we got Liverpool, not these two, in this round because these two will go where I don't know what's going on with Liverpool. I don't think even if Liverpool will go strong in this one. But I think Chelsea will always go strong. Tottenham 100% going strong. So this is the more tougher call, if I'll be honest, out of the two.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, man. Cliff doesn't agree. He's tired of owners and managers treating players as they like with impunity. If a player speaks up, he feels wronged. It's a piss take. That's the beauty of football. Difference of opinions. Ferd, let's come to you and let's come back to Spurs, bro. Lee thinks you're going to go strong. I think you're going to go strong. Do you think your team is going to be full strength?
I think so. And yeah, we probably will rest players in the FA Cup. I think one thing Conte has done is rotate the side. We've even seen guys like Doherty get back in the team and have minutes. And yeah, more than likely we will go strong. And I think we have to against Chelsea. I think, as you guys have said, with Lukaku coming back in, I think I've always said Lukaku plays at his best when he's almost got a chip on his shoulder. He showed that at Inter Milan. He showed that at Belgium as well. And I think now coming back in, obviously, he's kind of got his tail between his legs. But I kind of even agree with that super chat there just a second ago, because I think a lot of the times we ask players to kind of be honest and not be robotic. And I think Lukaku's kind of maybe come out and been too comfortable. And I think the timing of it is more where he's kind of messed up with this. And I don't know whether Sky Italia's decision to drop it weeks later or whatever. But I just feel like what he actually said wasn't that much of a deal. It was just a timing, because what he said was, I believe he's actually right. He said he was unhappy with the tactics because he doesn't feel like it's getting the best out of him, which is kind of true. I think they're just using him as a target man and kind of everyone runs off around you like the wingbacks do. And then the other thing was he said he wanted to move to Italy in his prime still, which I think if you look at Serie A, the average age is probably 40 years old. So going back there in your prime, if you're 33, which I think is when his Chelsea contract finishes, technically he's still in his prime. So he's probably looking at Zlatan, who he was playing last season, calling himself the King of Milan. He's got how many goals at 40? So I have no doubt that Lukaku can still go back to Inter at some point. But it was just the timing of it. And with obviously him now having to come back with the tail between his legs, he's definitely going to play with a point to prove. And I think that kind of swings the pendulum definitely in this first leg. I just hope it's kind of damage control and we really see the effects of what Conte's been doing over the last couple of months. The defensive shape, it settling into a back five, maybe even for this game, similar to like we did with Liverpool, and then just hitting them on the counter when needed, because that's where we've been really good with Lucas, with Son, on being those runners. So it'll be interesting to see the midfield he picks, I think. Because against Liverpool, he kind of went with some creative choices with Ndombele, Winks, Ali, and you thought, is he going to try and get on? We had them actually playing as workers, and it was interesting. So I don't know. I think Chelsea will probably be the favourites for this for sure, and Lukaku's kind of maybe swung it in their kind of direction a little bit, definitely.
Yeah, I personally, I'm gonna ask you all for predictions for this game now. I'm not going to go into Chelsea too much, other than to say that no matter who Chelsea seem to pick, their squad is full of experience/youth. So I think that even if they want to pick a rotated squad, that they will have experienced players and youth, because they've got the Kantes in there and the Lukakus who we've discussed, but they've also got like the Reece James, the Mason Mount, the Callum Hudson-Odoi. They've got a nice balance, I think, Spurs, and they can rotate and still have a strong side. My prediction is a score draw. I think it'll be a score draw going into this next leg, and I don't know who you make favourites then. I think again it's a flip of a coin. I think this one is going to be so tight personally, so that's what I'm going to go for. Lee, predictions for Chelsea versus Spurs, mate?
I'm going to go 2-1 Chelsea. I think home advantage is a key in this one, and sets it up nicely for the second leg where anything can happen. Like, you know, But I think Chelsea, with the Lukaku, I think just swings it, and being at Stamford Bridge just gives him the edge.
Grizz?
I was going to say 2-1 as well, but that'd be boring, innit? If me and Luke the same score. I'm going to say 3-1. Sorry, Fuad. I'm actually backing your team, but I just think Lukaku motivation factor tied in with he'll be able to rotate far more. They've got a couple more players come back from injury as well. Jorginho rested over the weekend as well. I'm going to say 3-1. But that doesn't mean the tie is over. Because when we do the preview for the other show, then I'll give you like a different prediction. You see what I mean?
Yeah, there we go. Kanye, what do you reckon, bro?
I would go with the 2-1 Chelsea win as well. I think they're not big goal scorers, I would say. I think there's definitely going to be the Lukaku factor. I think with their wing backs down a little bit as well. But the one thing I have seen under Conte is us have character up until kind of the last minute of the games, whether it's nicking it against Watford, even against Liverpool. I know they went down to 10 men, but to come back after going down and being 1-0 up initially. But yeah, so I'm kind of hoping that goal will kind of make the difference in the second leg, because the second leg as well, you got to remember, is going to be in front of the Carabao, the North London derby, sorry. So is he going to maybe for that leg rest some players or whatever? So we can't, it's kind of got to be a little bit of damage control at the same time. So sort of 2-1 I'm hoping for.
Fair one, man. Fair one, man. Well, I hope that you guys are right, because I don't want to see Tottenham go through, obviously. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, man.
Second leg coming.
Yeah, man. Second leg coming. We'll see what happens, man. Well, that's the small fixture of the week. Let's talk about the big fixture. Arsenal, Liverpool. If it goes ahead, Grizz, I'm going to start with you first, man. What have you heard? Is Klopp still crying because he's got no players? What's happening, man?
Oh, mate, where shall we start? Well, listen, at the end of the day, I want it to go ahead, because I think we can beat you with our kids and whatnot. We can bring out Linda from the canteen and still beat you guys. So it's not a problem. We're not scared. So we know we're not scared, right? So get that out of the way. So let's kick off the chat so they can start gunning for Chris straight away, right? Because we're not scared. Look, basically, we've tried to play every fixture throughout this nasty, grim period that there's been postponements left, right, and centre. We all know that, right? Liverpool calling for a postponement is not fucking some loophole we found in the system, right? Every club near enough has done it. Like, this is probably about the 20th game, possibly, around roughly. Someone in the chat might know exactly how many games have been postponed. We've had 4 or 5 cases going into the Chelsea game. We still wanted to go ahead. Even in the Leicester City game, we still wanted to go ahead, right? This morning, we've had a total of now, ladies and gentlemen, 14 cases. There's been an outbreak. Not only 14 cases, it includes coaching staff and academy. People, I was having a row with my lovely, lovely mate, Dan, as you know, Harry, who said, why can't you play the kids? The kids also train at the academy trains with the first team in our new training complex, which has been closed down today. That's how bad it was. So we're not talking a couple of players here and there. We would have played our B team anyway. But the fact there's 14, including Klopp, including no goalkeepers, 3 goalkeepers, all of them are out of COVID, all tested positive COVID. We've only registered a 24-man squad. Quick maths, 24-man squad, 14 outbreaks. Come on, man. Like, I don't get the outrage. I get it, because Lee just said at the start of the show, it might mean Gabriel missing an important league game for you guys. Yeah, and that is absolutely shocking. But it's not Liverpool's fault. This is the whole setup, the whole organisation's fault. There is no clarity. I said it before people start saying I'm crying. I said it from the start that there needs to be clarity from clubs telling us who's got COVID, who's not, is there injuries involved, or is it just COVID cases? So do you know when Man City were allowed to play Leeds when they had like 16, 17-year-olds? Where's the integrity of the Premier League? And then a week later, we can't play them because they've had less COVID cases. Make it make sense. I'm not defending the system. The system's fucked. What I am saying is our cases are genuine. We'd love to play it. Honest to God, we'd prefer to play it now than when the Champions League starts again, or we get closer to the league games, because we'll have loads of congestions. We want to play it now, but we literally physically can't. And I don't think it will, to be honest with you.
I mean, I think it's going to be cancelled, personally. I think it's going to be cancelled.
It will be.
I don't think, I didn't know it was 14 cases. I thought there was, I knew about Alisson, I knew about Firmino, I knew about Matip, and obviously Salah and Mane have gone to Africa.
All our goalkeepers, there's no goalkeeper.
That's the key. That's the key.
There's no goalkeeper.
And
the goalkeeping coaches. Tell me which club would not appeal for it to be thing. We've tried to keep going, even against Chelsea, which was by far the harder game, by far the more important game. We tried to keep going. We had no Bobby, no Matip, no Origi, no Thiago. We tried to get no Robertson. We tried to keep going, but we're at a point now where you can't.
That's where I think it is the goalkeeping situation. I'm peeved and I'm really annoyed that Liverpool have mentioned Mane, Salah and Keita and this like that, because they was out months ago with this, but then they shouldn't even be in the equation. Same as Arsenal. Arsenal got 3 players there, not in the equation. If they haven't got a goalkeeper, I think, was it who did Arsenal play when they had to get a goalkeeper in? Was it Southampton?
Southampton, yeah, that's good. Caballero.
Yeah, Caballero. And he was like not up to the task, because he was quite. Yeah, I don't think he trained and all that. So if they haven't got a goalkeeper, and you've got 8 outbreaks, listen, Liverpool are not making it up at the end of the day.
We're literally not. Look, people, it's mad how people are going on. They're saying, oh, he's got no issue with playing kids. When he plays kids, you say he's no disrespect. Now you're saying dish out the kids just because it's a semi-final. We can beat them. Listen, I don't think it's got nothing to do with. But it's not only you. Any club, I get it. Any club would want this fixture to be played. Any club would,
the only reason I'll tell you what was the only reason I want it played is so Gabriel gets off his ban. Now at the end of the day, I'm looking.
Same thing happened with us. Lee, we were supposed to play Leeds in the league. Got cancelled. Meant Robertson was going to miss Chelsea.
Yeah, exactly. He was going to miss a Chelsea game. I get that.
It's not our fault.
No, and I get that. It's not the problem. The problem for us is that how I see it now is that I honestly think, right, what they should have done in the first round, Klopp come out of it before the draw was even made, before they even got through. The semi-final should have been over one leg, so that you got a little bit of so if this did happen now, you've got next week to play that first, just a one-off game,
that may happen still. I reckon that may still happen, and suddenly Arsenal fans may be a bit happier because Klopp favours that. He don't mind that,
But you can't once you've had one semi-final with 2 legs, the other one with you can't do it. Yeah. It's a bit of a difficult thing. Now the problem that I've got with it, and it all comes down to money, is that last season Orient were kicked out of the competition against Tottenham because they couldn't fulfil a team, and now all of a sudden the same things happen. Oh, we've got to try and worm our way around it and all that. One rule for one rule for another. Listen, at the end of the day, people are saying about Liverpool and people, because there's a little bit of jealousy. I don't know. Look, Forest have called their game off yesterday. So if they called their game off on Monday, they ain't playing Saturday, right? There's no way that Nottingham Forest are playing Saturday. So you can forget about that. So now what worries me is what happens now for the following week. Now, I don't think if Liverpool call off this game, they can't play next week within 7 days. It's not going to happen. If a goal, I don't know how they're going to do that, and that's the problem. And now that means that we're going to have no game for 3 games now.
The only
Tottenham are going to have two 3 games more before they play us, so we could be fresh going into that game. I just don't know how it works. I don't know what's going to happen with that second leg now, and this is the problem that we've got. And I don't know when are they going to get these games in afterwards.
Yeah, that's my thing. Dan, I don't know what's going to happen there. Go on,
Dan,
Chris.
I get all that. I get all that, but please be honest. When Leeds were forced to play Man City a couple of weeks ago, right? With this team they saw. The 7-0 forward. I'm referring to the 7-0.
Yeah.
Where they're literally playing kids and like literally kids and players that you've never heard of, right? Or when Leicester were forced to play City with a total scratch squad, right? They managed to rest all their players and then play. Sorry, we weren't allowed to play Leeds. Who wouldn't have loved to play Leeds in that situation? But we had to deal with it. So I would have loved to play Leeds in that same week that they played Man City, get our 3 points. It would have made a total different complexion on the Premier League table. But we had to face it. Leeds had the game cancelled. Was there any uproar? Absolutely none. We didn't moan and groan about Leeds or why were they allowed to play against it? No, us. It's out of our hands. The rules are set up. They've made the rules so vague that you can call in COVID and get it cancelled.
Can I bring in Saint now? Can I bring in Saint quick, Grizz? Just sorry to interrupt, man.
Sorry,
this has come in at the right time for me because, listen, I'm not making excuses here because I'm an Arsenal fan, but I do question what the hell was going on at the start of the season when this happened. Where we had 6 players with COVID that were pretty much in our first team and nothing got done. We had to have 3 games of our first season where we're bottom of the league getting spanked with a back line of Kolasinac, Chambers, Holding, and who else was it? Pablo Marie, Eddie Nketiah and Balogun up top. But it was fine for us. So why is this now coming now? Like, what happens there? Do you know what I mean? So I think it's a good point, to be fair. And you know my thoughts on Arteta and Arsenal Football Club. So I ain't making too many excuses. I just think that actually looking at that back then, and now it's okay to.
And you should have absolutely made noise about it.
Yeah, that's the thing. We never made noise about it. We should have done.
Exactly.
We didn't as well. We've only forced to make noise now in probably, and I'm not showing disrespect, I'm being honest, in probably the least of the most important games that we should have made noise. Do you get what I'm saying? We should have made noise.
Liverpool, at this moment in time, are doing anything wrong. What I'm saying is with Liverpool, this is a different kettle of fish to the Premier League game. Like, you know what I mean? Like for instance, I don't know if it was last season. Someone keeps putting it in my chat today.
Aston Villa, they're going to say.
Play the kids against Liverpool once, you know, and they were forced to play. Yeah. They were forced to play a load of kids and all that. It was a farce, wasn't it? Come on, it was a farce.
Of course it was.
You know, that's not Liverpool's fault that they was forced to play the kids. The FA Cup says if you don't do that, you're going to have to forfeit. So when it comes to the Shrewsbury Liverpool game, this is my problem now. I don't know what's going to happen in the League Cup, but like the rules have been set in that if you don't fulfil the fixture in the FA Cup, you're going to get eliminated. So are Liverpool not going to play today, but then they're going to play on Saturday or Sunday whenever they play? Now, that's when you've got a problem. That is when you've got a problem. They can't pick and choose when they can play.
No, absolutely. And the situation about that, Lee, is because we had 4 or 5 players from previously who were already in isolation, we're hoping by Sunday they might be all right. And that's how it works.
Yeah.
You have to stay in isolation. Is it 7 days now? Fuad, I don't know if you know.
7 days.
It's 7 days now. It used to be 10
Yeah,
days.
so Alisson could be back for Sunday. That's
Thank
what you're
you.
saying. Like.
Yeah. Alisson, Bobby, Matip, and Origi might be back. So that might mean we've got enough players to play that. You know, people are getting like, oh, you're going to have to cancel Shrewsbury. Yeah, we may, but they might provide negative tests before then, and we've got enough players.
A lot of people in the chat, by the way, are talking about the Gabriel thing, saying that Gabriel's now going to be out the North London derby only if Forest we don't play, because he could then obviously miss that game, and then he'll be back for the North London derby. But if Forest gets cancelled as well, because Forest got their game cancelled only a few days ago because of the same COVID mess, we might miss Liverpool, Forest, and then he's out for North London derby.
If as Grizz says that they get players back from Shrewsbury, then they should be able to play the first leg on the second leg day.
That's what we hope. That's what we hope. So
that would be like the next Thursday's
game. Put it back a week,
back
basically, yeah.
Back a week. I'd imagine that Arsenal will play that a bit. They can't turn around and say, the first leg's cancelled, so we're playing the second leg first. They can't do that. They've got to play the first leg first. So I'm hoping then that if they play the game against Shrewsbury, or even if they don't play the game against Shrewsbury, as Grizz has just said, those few players should be out of. Well, Alisson will definitely be out of isolation. They've got a goalkeeper then, so that first leg should be played next week, and that would then free up Gabriel for the North London.
Derby. And that's what I hope, man. Obviously, like you, Lee. Let's go into the game if it goes ahead. Well, I hope it does, man. I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a really good game. Grizz, let's just quickly stay with you in terms of Liverpool. I think if you had everybody fit, I still think you would rotate for this game. I personally feel like your priorities lie elsewhere. However, it doesn't mean to say that you don't want to win this trophy. I think everybody does because it's a trophy. So where do you see this game going? Should it go ahead on Thursday night, Grizz?
Yeah, look, when it comes to the semi-final, who doesn't want to win it? Everything changes, innit? You start thinking, oh, yeah, that cup, okay. You know.
Yeah, it becomes a bigger cup then, doesn't it?
Do you know what I mean? It's still, you know, fans are fickle. We're all fans, aren't we? And when you get to the semi-final, you're so close to Wembley and adding another title, you go for it. But I'm with you. I still think we would have rotated. I still don't think we would have played all the big guns, even if they were here. So yeah, it would have made. I wasn't looking forward to this game. I genuinely wasn't. I think you guys are probably one of the form teams of the Premier League. Fully fit squad, I believe. And I wasn't looking forward to this game. I think it would have been very, very tasty first game at your place. But, you know, unfortunately, it looks like it may not go ahead. But it may give... I don't know if you've got any... Have you got any injuries? Am I right in saying you haven't got no...
We're okay apart from Gabriel.
No, we're okay.
Yeah,
but Gabriel will be available
obviously
next week if it gets played? So
no, he'll be available if we play against Forest.
Yeah, if we play...
That's what I mean. So you're hoping that you play Forest and he's available for us. So it could work in your favour, lads. Calm down. Everyone calm down in the Arsenal fan base. It might work in your favour. You might have your best centre-back because I think he's your best centre-back. Absolutely your best centre-back. So, but yeah, it would have been tight. Dan, I'm not going to sit here and say we would have gone over to you because I was joking earlier on. I'm serious now. It would have been tight. You guys are playing some good football. Smith Rowe would have come back in your team. You're
a fan of Arteta, Grizz, aren't you? You're a fan of what he's doing.
Yeah, I am. I think he's...
Talk to me, man. Talk to me.
I think he's a good young coach. I think he's been under the stewardship of probably one of the all-time great coaches. And if you're intelligent, if you're smart, you can only learn of someone like Pep. You can't lose being under the stewardship of Pep. If you do, you got no future. And I think Arteta has a future. I don't think he's the guy that can take you back to the top glory days, but he can definitely set the foundation. He can definitely do what he's doing, which is flushing out the old egos, the lifestyles, the whole philosophy, the structure. He's setting that in place. In my opinion, I've said it for the last season and a half, and I think you're seeing the fruits of it now. If you're not, then if you don't see it, then that's your club. You know what's best for you guys. I can only give my opinion from the outside, and I think he's done a good job so far.
See, I want to come to Fuad in a minute and get his thoughts on Arteta and Arsenal, but I want everyone in the chat to understand one thing with me, right? I don't feel like it should take a manager 2 seasons to show me a style of play. That's what I'm getting at. However, in the last 5 games, what have I seen from Mikel Arteta on this Arsenal side? I've been really impressed with it. I've seen progression. I see us beat Watford and Norwich 1-0, scrape past them, and everyone was getting excited about this process. I wasn't. Now I've seen us beat Leeds and Norwich convincingly, with a young team going forward, playing an attractive style of play. I've seen some passing in triangles. I've seen diamonds in the middle. I've started to see our attacking play become, because he's finally decided to play Martinelli, which is a player I've been crying out for weeks and months of the season. So now I'm starting to see what all this potential style of play nonsense was about. But I definitely didn't start to see that a few weeks ago. We were beating Norwich and Burnley 1-0, and everybody was getting really excited about how great Mikel Arteta was doing. And I was going, what? Like, we should be beating those teams easily at home, not scraping past them 1-0. I wasn't getting excited by it. However, the signings that he's made, him and Edu deserve a lot of credit for this season in particular. I think they have improved the side. I have seen progress within our play of the last 5 or 6 games. But this month is vital for me. This month, if you get to the end of this month and we have beaten Spurs and we're still in the trophies, I can hold my hands up and say, do you know what? This guy's turning this around and I'm seeing some progress now. So I need to see that happen. I wanted him to come away from Goodison Park, Old Trafford and Anfield with at least 1 point, and we got zilch. So I need to start seeing some consistency. He's starting to answer my questions in terms of convincing me that we do have an attractive attacking style of play. We're beating the teams convincingly. And I am starting to see, in my opinion, progress from some of these young players that I'm excited about. I actually like watching Arsenal at the moment, and I like our players. But I need to see consistency. So if you can show me consistency, and by the end of the season, we're in a position where we have definitely shown progress, and we're not 7th instead of 8th, and everyone gets excited, then yeah, I will start to say, do you know what? I hold my hands up. It's taken a long time, but we are starting to show some progress. So that's where I'm at. Fuad, let me get your opinion from a Spurs fan on Arsenal and Arteta. Oh, go on, Lee wants to come in. Go on.
No,
he's being polite there. Look, he's got his hand up. Go on, mate.
Yeah, I've just got my hand up. I just had a look at the fixtures after the 16th of January, after the Arsenal Spurs game. We've got a midweek free that week. No one's playing, so we could actually cancel this game and just put the games back a week.
Maybe that'll happen, mate. Maybe that'll happen.
I think that would be sensible, wouldn't it? Like, you know what I mean? So, like, instead of Arsenal then play like in between the two games would be in between the Tottenham games. So we play the first leg before Tottenham, second game after Tottenham. We don't play Burnley till the
Take that.
So we'd have to play it on a Wednesday. We wouldn't be able to play it on a Tuesday. We wouldn't be able to play it on a Thursday unless they want to change the Arsenal-Brentford game. So it'd have to be on a Wednesday. I don't see why it can't be. I think that day, West Ham are playing Norwich in a league game, which has been rearranged anyway. So I don't see why they... that's the 12th. So I don't see why they can't do that. There's no games being played. So we just have to play it on a Thursday and a Wednesday. I don't see that being a problem.
Well, let's see what happens, man. I think something will have to happen.
Game off. Right,
yeah, I think the game will be off. I
don't see that being a problem. I can't see why they can't do that. If they've got what they've got, 2 games, just put it back.
We got to try and fit him in somewhere.
Next Thursday, Gabriel gets his ban off. I'm happy.
There you go, Lee's happy. We've got to try and fit him in somehow because it ain't just this one that's been cancelled. We've got a Wolves game ahead of it. Liverpool got some that they've cancelled as well. Everyone, I think Burnley have played like 15 games, haven't they, or something? Everyone else has played nearly 20. It's just a madness. Fuad, let's come to you, man. You've been sitting waiting patiently. I'm sure you want to go in on Arsenal fans and talk about it, but what's your honest opinions on what's going on? Yeah, be free, man. Speak freely, bro.
No, honestly, it's weird because this season for me, I saw last season, at the end of last year, I said this season Arsenal have gained a massive benefit in not being in any European competitions. They get a real chance to really sit back and rebuild. And I think everyone, including me, when they saw kind of the summer dealings that they did, it was like, have they really improved the squad? But then with Arteta, kind of what he's done in that kind of long stretch of 10 games unbeaten or 11 games it was, I think he was just getting the results, getting results. And I think especially after the way the season started after the first 3, I think that was just important. Forget style of play and everything. And I think sometimes people have been too harsh to judge Arteta. And even me, I do it as a Spurs fan just to get my jokes off. I got to. But I think sometimes it's too harsh because he's literally the definition of a rookie coach. He is literally learning on the job. He came from being Pep's assistant. And I think he was only an assistant for about 2 years or whatever it was. And then all of a sudden now you're full-time Arsenal leading a rebuild after Arsene Wenger when Unai Emery failed. And now you're the next man up. It's like, that's a big task to take. So it's taken 2 years, but I think now he's kind of seeing the fruits of his labor. And especially when you look at the squad as well, the average age is pretty much, 21, 22. It's really young. And you look at Ben White, Gabriel, that could be a pairing for the next 5-6 years. Tomiyasu and Tierney look like 2 of the most reliable fullbacks you'll see. Ramsdale, rejuvenated signing. We'll see how long that lasts. Partey, all of a sudden, is, I feel like now starting to hit his stride the last couple of games.
Finally come to the party, any?
Yeah, like literally, you're starting to see that Atletico Madrid version. I think Xhaka's maturing a little bit, trying to find his role within that as well. But Odegaard, Emil Smith-Rowe, Saka, the youngsters have really taken their kind of opportunities that they've been given. Even Nketiah in the League Cup, let's be honest, every single moment he's been given and his contract's running out. But so he's got that young core to kind of work with for the next 3 years, and him being the guy steering that ship, I think Arsenal fans just have to kind of stick with it, and even through the bad patches, and realize that they're going to come with a rookie coach and they're going to come in a building process. And even this season, I think if Arsenal don't get top 4, it's not a failure. I feel like the focus should be just get back to getting European football. And I know Europa League might not sound pretty, but it's an improvement on what the last couple of years were. Even if it's we get Europa League and we just finish ahead of Spurs, because they ain't done that in 5 years. So it's progression. So I think now with the young core, just take progression steps. And he's got the silverware already. He did that in under 6 months. Now it's just progression, what he needs to focus on. And I think he's getting that.
That's a very honest review, man, and fair play. Where do you see this fixture going? Should it go ahead, though, Fuad? Where are you swaying towards, man? Arsenal or Liverpool?
It's tough. Well, obviously, with Liverpool having so many misses, a score draw, to be honest. I think if a 1-1, I'd probably go for. I think it won't be the prettiest game, but Arsenal really have an opportunity to kind of take advantage, if anything. I know it'll be at Anfield, but I think maybe sneak a result where, I don't know, Arsenal previously haven't been able to, but this is an opportunity to catch a weak inside if it does go ahead to take advantage, definitely.
Fair play. Lee Judges, Arsenal, Liverpool. What's your thoughts ahead of this game?
Do you know what? I think I'm more and more convinced now, and Chris has convinced me that this game's going to be off, so it'll be like put back a week. And I still listen. I remember Arsenal under Arsene Wenger getting to a semi-final and a final, and still sticking with the kids. Do you know what I mean? I remember we got stuffed against Spurs 5-1 by playing our kids. I was bloody fuming, like, you know what I mean? We got to a semi-final, and he still played, you know. And I think Klopp will do the same, regardless of that. I think the reason that he's probably called this game off is because he ain't got a goalkeeper. So I think at the end of the day, he would have. Look at the game against Leicester. He played his kids. Now, don't forget, last season he played he played his third team against us. And they done us on penalties in the 5-5 game, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
what a game that was.
Yeah, it was a fantastic game. He's got an history, and I don't think Klopp will change. I think that he is, regardless of what happened, he'll be a very, very mixed side out. And I think because we ain't got Europe, I think that we'll go fairly, fairly strong. And I think that we'd probably forgetting, I'm going to go 2-0 Arsenal, and that will be enough to get us through over the 2 legs. I think there'd be I think Klopp, you know, don't like to lose. He might make it a little bit stronger in the second leg. But I think because of, I always said that when that draw was made, I wanted Liverpool because I think that Klopp will rotate, and I don't think Chelsea and Tottenham will. Like, you know what I mean? So that's I stuck by that before all this COVID sort of going in there. That Klopp is really looking at the Champions League and the title again, like, you know what I mean? And they're still in my opinion, still in both at this moment in time. And I think that he'll go down that route. And I'll tell you what the other thing is that Klopp can't risk. And I'll tell you one thing he cannot risk is getting an injury to Van Dijk. If he gets an injury to Van Dijk, I think he completely changes with Liverpool to being what they were and what they're not without him. It's incredible what one player does to a team, but he is so important to Liverpool being a very, very good side to being an even better side, you know what I mean? And I think that's a key. And I don't think you'd be able to risk playing him 3 or 4 times in this month.
Do you know what's funny? Where's Joe Gomez gone?
He's there. He's just
got COVID.
Like his injury was worse than Van Dijk's, so his comeback has been slower. He had one of the most horrific.
And you got Konate now as well, isn't it?
And plus Konate's gone above him in the pecking order, so he's 4th choice. But he 100% was going to or would have played or will play both legs against Arsenal. 100%.
Yeah, I agree. I rate him as well. I really like Joe Gomez.
Well, Gomez will play both games.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. This is the time to give them games. You know,
you guys. Not last January, but the January before, you guys wanted him, and that comes from a very, very good source. Good source.
I think teams like Arsenal and Spurs need to be looking at his situation. Definitely,
yeah,
I think
I know that.
Everything he's won at Liverpool. I feel like he might feel like he's done everything he can, and he wants regular football now, especially with the World Cup coming up as well.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Stevie G tried to take him on loan for Villa this window. We've said no, but I know Arsenal wanted to buy him last.
And he plays
last
a few
January.
positions, Grizz. He can play fullback, can't he, as well as centre back. So
Yeah, man. But I think he would have suited you nice, man. Before you guys started targeting Ben White, you want Joe Gomez. You could see Gomez and Gabriel being fucking good together as well. Both quick, both strong, both good.
His injury record is just
That's
a question
it.
mark.
That's it. Yeah.
he'll
Look,
probably
I
come
feel
to
for the
Arsenal
kid.
then.
Yeah.
Everyone
Yeah.
else gets injured.
Straight in, wouldn't he? Fit straight in.
He'll fit straight in.
I feel for the kid because people have slept on how good he was in our title winning season and our Champions League winning season. Like he was only 21 at the time. Fantastic young English centre back, but yeah, the injuries have killed him, man.
Yeah, and listen, Konate is class as well, man. I was jealous of that signing. I think he's going to be top draw at 21. I think he is. He's just turned 22.
Yeah,
he looks
he's a
epic,
beast.
mate. Yeah, he is a beast. Him and
Got
Upamecano for
Saliba there.
Leipzig was
Got Saliba
amazing.
there.
Well, Saliba, listen, apparently he still plays for Arsenal. He signed a 4-year contract. I ain't seen him kick a ball yet. Crazy, man. Ain't going to happen, I don't think.
No. But see, the thing is, right, I know Arsenal fans, and it's every fan base. You have your favourites and you go against the coach because he's not picking your favourites. You got to look at what your club is doing. Forget the name on the back of the shirt and support the fucking shirt. And I know sometimes it's hard with the likes of Xhaka, right? Sorry, right?
Don't,
we had the same with Lovren and Lucas Leiva and all these people, right? We've gone through it all. Like Sacco. Sacco was one of the fans'
Jimmy Traore.
Yeah, but not even going back that far. Like Sacco was too
that
much.
was Soko.
But fans love Sacco. Oh, he's the one we want. But you know what I mean? At the end of the day, they just weren't. For whatever reason, it may be off the pitch, Dan. Do you know what I mean? Like Sacco was not sacked, but sold because of his off the pitch antics. He was late for training, like Aubameyang. Klopp walked in and said, "I don't care how good you are, you're out, mate." And look where we are now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if I'm honest with you, Grizz, I think the Saliba thing was frustrating because at the time we were seeing Holding, David Luiz, Chambers, Mustafi, Socrates all ahead of him. And we were like, please explain this then. If this kid is that good, why can he not get ahead of Mustafi and Socrates? Now we're back. We're at the back. No one really talks about Saliba because we're solid at the back. It's just weird how things work, man. It really is. But there we go.
I just think it would be a nice option on top of just to give a bit of competition to Ben White and Gabriel, and especially
100%.
with their injuries as well. If any step up, I think quality choice to have, especially what he's doing at Marseille this season as well.
I totally agree with you, Fuad. As a player, you can see that talent, but what we don't see is behind the scenes training, his attitude with the players, whatever. And Arteta's got history, you can tell by analysing that first. And maybe going for the more professional players over the more talented, and you can tell Saliba's talented as most of the centre backs, barring Gabriel. But maybe he saw something that we don't know about, and he wants to flush that out. And it's not the only one he's flushed out. You guys have flushed out 4 or 5, innit? Like there's loads.
Yeah,
of
Guendouzi, Saliba, Aubameyang.
It always seems to be the Emery signings that he was like, you know what, you guys. Guendouzi, Martinelli, Saliba, they're all youngsters signed by Emery.
That was my argument, Buzz. Not quite sure he rates some of these players. That was my argument. Martinelli has proven either that Martinelli was ready after all, or Arteta's a genius and he's just kept him back. And now he's playing him at the right.
And now he's
we don't know.
flourishing.
We don't know though, do we, Chris? We don't know if he is by this time or if he has
all
just
I'm saying
was
is
ready.
You guys are a far better squad without Luiz, Bellerin.
Oh, mate.
All these people, he's
not
flushed
even
them out,
close.
man. I think.
I agree. We have done well in that department.
We've removed the culture, mate. 100%.
And that is it. Trust from Liverpool fan point of view. Trust me, Klopp. That's the first thing he changed. He changed the culture.
And it's weird. 18 months ago, if you said the front line of Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Pepe would be replaced by Smith Rowe, Saka, and Martinelli, you wouldn't think it would fit. But somehow
that's a great point.
I'll tell you another thing I said on a podcast today. As good as Man City are, right? If Pep said, right, you can have Sterling and Jesus for Saka and Martinelli, I'm going no chance. No way. You know what I mean? Like, now, you wouldn't be saying that a month ago or even 6, 7, 8 weeks ago. Like, we've got some players now that would get into a lot of the top teams. You know, the way Martinelli's playing, the way
Saka's a
Saka's
dream.
playing, Saka would get into any team in the Premier League at this moment in time.
Saka would be a dream. And I'm saying that from a Liverpool fan point of view, that, for example, if Salah was to leave like 2-3 years' time, not now, before Liverpool fans get on, but let's say 3 years' time, I would fucking love Saka to replace Salah. Absolutely love Saka. That's how highly I rate the kid.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that picture, Grizz, of literally Saka surrounded by 7 Man City players and the ref. And trust me, the ref was the one who was the danger, not the 7 Man City players. But it just shows you how good Bukayo Saka is, man, and how dangerous he is going forward, 100%. We've got a super chat I want to read out. It's from Jashar. He's got an opinion on Arteta. The jury's still out for him on Arteta. Says he doesn't forget the poor decisions. Mustafi over Saliba, which we touched on. Selling Martinez to keep Leno. And signing Runnison. Only having to buy Ramsdale. Playing Willian over Pepe and Martinelli. Listen, Jashar, you know my opinions on Mikel Arteta over the last 2 years, but I have seen improvement, and there definitely is improvement, and there definitely is progress. So long may it continue. Guys, before we look to wrap up, I want to ask you all an on-the-spot question. I want you to throw a name at me for who's going to win the Carabao Cup. Fuad, let's start with you, man.
You had to put me on the spot.
Nice way to end it, bro.
Go on, I'll back my team. Conte effect. It will come to fruition. We'll finally break the duct.
Is that going to be the first trophy you're going to remember, yeah?
Hey, listen. Listen, I was around for 08.
Oh, you was, yeah, of course, man.
I didn't think it was true.
Yeah, man. Fair play, back your team.
Chelsea
I respect that.
final as well. So,
Oh, well, yeah, good omen, innit? Good omen, I suppose. Grizz, you backing your team? You backing your boys?
Yeah, by next week, all the COVID cases should be clear. A couple of the injuries, just to piss off the Arsenal fans, a couple of the injuries will be clear as well. So we'll have done well to get this game postponed. And but yeah, I can see it being a Liverpool-Chelsea final. And then, oh, mate, fuck Chelsea.
Love that, man. That's a great way to end it, innit? Lee, over to you, man. Give me a name.
I'm back now. I've said Arsenal would win this competition from day one because we ain't in Europe. I've said that we would take it serious. I've not going to change my mind. I think that Liverpool are not the Liverpool that you'd be playing like in the league. And I think it could well be an Arsenal Chelsea final.
He couldn't bring himself to say it.
I couldn't bring myself. I was going to say something right last
I
second.
respect it.
Oh, man. Where does it leave me? I tell you where it leaves me. The last time we were in a semi-final in Domestic Cup, Mikel Arteta won it for us. So I'm going to back him and the club to do it again. We haven't won this trophy since 1993, so for me, it's a trophy I'd like to win. I know it only gets you apparently it gets you the Europa League, Conference League now, but be it. It's a trophy.
Oh,
yeah,
magic.
Man, I imagine being in that. I'd rather headbutt a javelin. I'll tell you that now. But personally, it's a trophy, so we have to go for it, and I will 100% back Arsenal for it, just because I'm feeling optimistic. That's amazing for me, isn't it? However, I hate saying this. I think we're going to get Tottenham in the final. I just don't know why. I don't know what. I don't want them.
Never happened.
What
Never
would
happened.
be better than that, though? The best derby in the country for the final. Why not? Why not?
Man, it is that crazier things have happened. And listen, the last 2 years of football, I can't even keep up. I mean, we're trying to predict when games are going to be going ahead or not. So anything can happen. I fancy Arsenal Spurs in this fight. I don't know why. It's just telling me it's going to be an Arsenal Spurs final. Conte's got some magic in his bones, and I think he's going to make it happen over 2 legs. And I think because of the problems at Liverpool in terms of their squad selections at the moment, I think that if it does go ahead anyway, I think we've probably got the advantage over two legs, in my opinion. And I think it will be an Arsenal Spurs final, and I'm praying and backing us then. I ain't ever accepting a loss to them, ever. So let's see what happens.
Hear the end of it.
Do you know what? Can you imagine, Lee, if we lose that in the final of that? I don't even want to imagine.
Only at the end of it when the women beat you like or whatever like that. I mean, can you imagine what's going to be like with them, like, you know? Jesus Christ.
Honestly, man, unbelievable.
Come on, Chelsea. Come on, Chelsea.
Absolutely, come on, Chelsea. In all seriousness, boys, thanks so much, man. Apologies to the listeners who were waiting for Toby and Matisse to join us as well, but unfortunately they weren't about last minute and it had to change things up. But Grizz, massive respect. Big up to you for coming on again, man.
No problem.
How can people follow you, bro?
Just type in Grizz and fucking, if you want to hear my shitty opinions and winding up people all over social media, then go for it. But I'm trying to promote while you got
go for it.
Arsenal
Plug
fan
it,
base,
man. Plug it.
Just started a YouTube channel only a couple of months. So GrizzCon TV, really appreciate it. Subscribe. And I try to cover all clubs, not just Liverpool. You'll be glad to know. And nice one. Appreciate the invite, and always a pleasure.
Man, thank you. Always a pleasure having you on, man. And if there's any Arsenal fans out there that love Mikel Arteta, get yourself over to subscribe to GrizzCon TV, because you'll get a lot of loving over there from Mikel, because he's a big fan. I'm sure Grizz won't mind me saying that. Fuad, listen, big respect for you coming in last minute, man. I know Tobe said to me, I know a guy who'll come in and he won't let you down. And you
trust me, you got the better. You trust me, you got the better man.
Do you know what? You're a lot different to Tobes, I'll tell you that.
Trust me. You got the better man.
Now, Fuad, man, how can people follow you, man, and what you up to, bro, on social media?
Fuad Gadani on all platforms, and similarly got a little YouTube channel as well. Do content with Tobes actually, but yeah, mainly Spurs content to disappoint a lot of the Arsenal fans.
Do you know what? You'd be surprised how many people go over there and watch that on this channel on other Arsenal platforms, man. You
when we lose.
Exactly that. Exactly that. Boys, thank you so much for coming on. Listen, we've had well over 1,400 watching live at one stage. That's amazing. Thank you all so much for listening in the chat. I really appreciate your support. Lee Judges, lastly, thank you so much, man, as always, bro. I hope that we get the result on Thursday.
Thanks, guys, for coming on. I really enjoyed that. Good chat, and it's always nice to talk to other fans, even Spurs fans. There you go. I've said it like, you know what I mean?
You've said it now. Guys, hopefully we get some reaction for you for the games, but watch this space to what's happening at the moment in the world of the COVID and the pandemic of football. And just lastly, we'll be bringing some transfer news to you when it comes in. There's a lot that's going to be happening over the coming weeks. Hopefully some incomings for Arsenal, and we can clear out some of the deadwood, so we'll keep you posted for that as well. Until then, guys, up the Arsenal, and we will see you next time.